story attached. 10 years ago, a woman was murdered here by her husband. The first night you spend in the house, you've awakened in the middle of the night to see a woman in white standing in the corner of your bedroom. The next morning, you assume it was just a dream. But then you see her again and again, though. Reflections in mirrors, shadow in the corner of your eye. Standing still in the back room. Faceless. Known as New Gooey. The faceless ghost. A New Gooey are portrayed as vengeful spirits and more like a succubus, a spectral woman who preyed on men and absorbed their yang before killing them. New Gooey was a woman who was wronged while she was alive, usually murdered or sexually abused, and seeks revenge. Sometimes they haunt the person who hurt them, but usually they're attached to a particular place or item. The faceless ghost is a lot like that scary stories to tell in the dark. The faceless ghost appeared in many cultures. Some say they actually have no face, no eyes, nose, or lips. There are also stories about a girl who is not faceless. But no matter from which direction you look at her, from the front or the back, you can only see her pigtail. Never the face. Napara, Bo, faceless ghost, from Japan. They appear, at first, as ordinary human beings, sometimes impersonating someone familiar to the victim, before causing their features to disappear, leaving a blank, smooth sheet of skin where their face should be. There is tale of a lazy fisherman who decided to fish in the imperial koi ponds near the Heian-kyo Palace. Despite being warned by his wife, he went anyway. Arriving there, he met a young woman who pled him not to fish there. He ignored her, and, to his horror, she wipes off her face. Rushing home, he is confronted by his wife, who then scolded him, then turned, facing him, faceless. On May 19, 1959, a sighting of the faceless ghost was reported at the Waialae Drive-In Theater in Kahala. The witness watched a woman combing her hair in the women's restroom, and when the witness came close enough, the woman turned, revealing her featureless face. Charlie, No Face, of Pennsylvania. Rumors of a murderous, faceless man roaming the streets at night were based on a real-life person who'd suffered an extreme accident that destroyed his face. He was not a murderer, just walking at night to get fresh air and be left alone. The legend stuck, however. The downfall of Faceless Fred, a Nebraska general store owned by a man named Fred, who cheated on his wife. His wife found out and was so angry that she killed Fred and cut off his face. She disposed of the body in the well out front of the general store, and now Fred's ghost wanders the area. If you see a ghostly figure in a flannel shirt and overalls, do not wait until he turn around. A faceless guest in the elevator. Luckily, you are working from home now. You missed it, for now. An employee of a well-known bank was working late. He entered the elevator for a smoke downstairs around 3 a.m., and there was a woman in yellow attire already inside it, her head lowered down. He ignored her, thinking that she was also a part of the midnight shift. But it was weird, because normally Those who worked the midnight shift would stick together on the second floor. This woman had pressed the fifth floor instead. He wanted to ask her about it, but then noticed that she had no reflection. When he reached his floor, he quickly got out, and when he looked behind, she was gone. 11 years ago, accountant Matthew went on a tour with his girlfriend to Vietnam. They had booked a room in a budget hotel in Ho Chi Minh City. The room looked ordinary. There were 2 beds. Next to the door, there was a small round coffee table with 2 chairs. Facing the main door was the toilet and the windows where you could see the neon signs outside. That night, he slept on the bed, further away from the main door and closer to the windows, while his girlfriend occupied the other bed. Later that night, he felt something pulling his leg. He struggled hard to wake up, but he could not open his eyes or move. When he gained his sight, he could identify someone seated on the chair closest to the main door. It was a woman in a light green Vietnamese traditional dress. She had long black hair and sat facing him. Without spectacles, he was unsure if she was looking at him or out the window. The woman had no face.